started. If you're new to BGI, go ahead and hit that red subscribe button so that you can follow along with these lessons as they go live every single Tuesday. But let's dive right into this one, okay? So I talked about triads, or these 3-note chords, and that's what we're going to really use as these sort of anchor points to help us develop a full solo that covers a lot of the neck. So real quick, if you're not familiar with a triad, it's basically that 3-note chord, okay? It's a root, a major third, and a fifth when you're talking about major triads, and that's going to be our focus today, okay? And we call this a voicing, where we've got that arrangement of notes. But we can voice the chords in other ways, just by rearranging the notes. As long as you've got the notes, you've got an A major in this case. But you can rearrange those notes. You've still got an A major, you just have a different voicing. We would call this an inversion. So I've got my third in the lowest note here, okay? That's happening here, 11th fret, 4th string, and then the E on the 3rd string, and then my A on the 2nd string. So there's our voicing. Then we've got another voicing here, and then we can do yet another. Here's the second inversion, where we've got the E, or the 5th, in the bass. Bass just meaning the lowest note position here. Followed by the A, followed by the C sharp. Now this may look a little more familiar to you if you drop it down an octave and bar at the 2nd fret across these strings. We usually play this with an open A, but the heart of it is really the A major triad happening here. Okay, so once again, a quick review. We've got this triad, this one, and then this one. And of course we can play that down here as well, and we're going to utilize that when we start building this solo out. Let's do that now. I think you'll see how we use these as anchor points to kind of move through a solo, and I'll stop and point out where we do that as we start building this thing note for note. So what I'm going to do is pump out a quarter note bass on the 5th string, and I'm playing it with a slight palm mute. If you're a finger picker, this is great to reinforce the thumb independence and being able to play lead, licks, and all that stuff on top of a steady bass. If you're not, don't worry about it. But what we're going to do is, for the sake of this video, it's going to really help you to hear this A keep driving. So I'm going to keep it going, and what I'm going to do is on the and of 1 for the first measure into this thing, I'm going to play this little passage, building around this A major triad. 2, 3, 4, 1. Alright, so you can tell for the most part I was right here and then I started moving up. We'll get to that moving up part in just a second, but let's back up. On the and of 1, I'm going to hammer up from a bar across the top 2 strings at the 5th fret, my E and my A. Hammer up on the 2nd string only, okay, to the F sharp. Then come back on the and of 2, and you're just going to do a quick chord stab. I call them chord stabs because you just kind of really grab the chord and just play it nice and staccato. Just like that. Then on the end of 3, or actually on the beat 3, you're going to pull off from that 7th fret back down to the 5th. So hold that bar throughout this first passage. Then we're going to back up, catch this 7th fret, I didn't say that, and then we're going to back up to the 6th fret on the 3rd string. That's our major third. That comes right underneath the chord, okay? Then we're going to hit the root. So that's really the first segment of this. Then we're going to start to slide up, which is just a slide up a step on the 4th string, back down to the root. But notice how we've shifted. You could do that, but if you do that, you're kind of stuck in this position. We're kind of targeting somewhere else. So what we want to do is pull off there. And then we're going to even climb further. There we go. On the 9th fret, up to the 11th, just just like that. You can quicken those middle notes a little bit just to add a little something cool to the rhythm. Like that. Just adds a little something to the phrasing, all right? But now you can tell with the way I moved up, I am in position here to play this triad. So now I'm going to build some licks, some lines right off of this triad, okay? Let's listen to what that sounds like. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're hammering into this chord voicing. So you can keep a bar here on the 9th fret, strings 4, 3, and 2, which is really cool. That happens to be an E major triad. So we're going to hammer on from that up to our A major triad with this inversion with our C sharp now in the bass. Okay, so it's a really classy sound. I want you to get that down. I use it all the time. All right, but what we're doing specifically in this piece is on the and of 1, we're going to do that hammer on. 1, 1, 1, and it's quick, right? Then you go back to the bass and then back to the E note on the 3rd string, followed by a pull off from the 11th to the 9th on the 3rd string, back to the 11th on the 4th string, followed by a hammer on. So it sounds like this. Then we're going to slide up on the 3rd string to the G sharp and then hit the B on the 2nd string. So here we're kind of out of our triad shape, right? And we're not quite to this one, but we are going to hint at it. So we're going to kind of tease that A that's happening here at the 14th fret. Now I'm just fretting this with my pinky and my ring finger, 14th fret, just on these 2 strings right now. But we're really aiming there. That's where we're going. We're just using these as sort of some notes to help us get there, right? To get us into the other position, much as we did right here, okay? Even has the same sort of melodic contour. Whoops. So what I'm doing is I'm sliding up to the 13th fret on the 3rd string, hitting the 12th fret on the 2nd, and then I'm kind of punching on this double stop here, just moving that little shape down 2 frets, and then again, pinky, ring finger, 14th fret, 2nd and 3rd string, and I'm punching that. And letting it hang. Alright, so we moved right out of here. Up to this triad, just like that. Now we're going to start moving back down with this little cool little run here. Listen to this. All right, so what I'm doing here, and again, we're going to keep the bass going throughout, but so as not to confuse things, I'm going to leave that out for right now. On the top of this next measure, we're going to do this little move. So it's 2 16th notes followed by an 8th note. So it's quick, quick, and then slow, sort of slow. We've got us. Then another 8th note, followed by 2 more 16th notes, just meaning how quickly we're playing this, right? This is rhythmic talk here, what we're doing. Finally, we're getting down into this familiar place, and what we're going to do is pull off when we get there. And then do this little hammer up to the 11th fret. Okay, so you can see here how we've moved back down from this position to this triad. So we moved from here up, and then from here we did this little move, to move up into this triad. Now we're moving back down here. Then guess what we're doing next? We're going to do a similar hammer-on move here around this triad. That's what we did before. What we're going to do here is just kind of an abbreviated version of that. We're going to hammer up and then work our way back down from this D note to the C sharp. But that's all happening after this. All right, so that's it. So we got a hammer followed by this double stop here, 5th fret, and then a pull off is what we're going to do from the 7th to the 6th, followed by the A note. So we're going to feel like we're going home now. We're going to move back down to this root. We could play it here, but we're going to play it here just to get us in that different triad position, okay? So what we've got is, all right, and then this. All right, remember we've got that bass going. Then we just got that little lick to finish us up here. So what we're gonna do to get into it is at the end of this first measure, once we're back down here, we're just gonna do that. We're gonna hammer up from the 2nd to the 4th on the 4th string, and then kind of punch that 3rd string A note there. Then we're going to play this E really quickly and slide down. So really we're borrowing from this triad. We're just going to be there really quick. We're just going to stop by. We're going to visit it. So what I'm doing is playing the E, sliding down from this 6th fret to the 4th, back down to the 2nd. All right. There we go. See how we kind of really blended these two triad positions here. A lot of 4th fret, a lot of 2nd fret, and we're really working our way in and out of that 6th fret on the 3rd string. Right there. All right, so let's play through this whole thing. And now that you know the secret, you know the triads are really the backbone for this thing, watch and try to see when I'm moving out of one and into the other. You should be able to spot them pretty quickly after watching this thing. So here we go. I'm going to play this up to speed, and then we're going to wrap up. Here we go. All right, that's it for this lesson. I hope you dig it, and I hope you got something out of it. Now, if you want to build a solid foundation in the blues, then I highly recommend checking out the Blues Guitar Institute's course called the Acoustic Blues Jumpstart. Just head over to bluesguitarinstitute.com/start now, and you can grab 3 free lessons from the course. There's a lot of quick wins in there. We talk about the shuffle rhythm, we talk about 12-bar blues, we talk about turnarounds. You really get some quick wins in there, and I want you to pick that up. It's completely free. Just head over to that website, sign up, and you'll get rolling with some cool free lessons. Until next time, practice smart and play on.